Us here on TOT World.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me.
I think a lot of people right now are wondering in your region of the world, is there a political crisis going on in your country?
Well, you know, it's kind of a normal democratic process that we are going through. Currently, there is a caretaker set up in the country, which is a constitutional requirement which has come after the completion of the full term of the parliament. Our main task is to hold free and fair elections, and that is something that is going to take place as and when the Election Commission of Pakistan announces the date for the elections.
What are the keys to Pakistan's future and the economy moving forward in a stabilized way?
Well, economy is obviously linked to almost everything. It is linked to prosperity, it is linked to of the people, it is also linked to a stable political environment. And the kind of steps which have been taken by the government, we are quite hopeful that they will result in political stability and economic stability, and the kind of reforms which are being introduced by Pakistan in these sectors is also something which offers a promising future for the people of Pakistan.
I wanted to ask you, what about the price of fuel? Is that rising? Fuel prices rising?
Well, the fuel prices are rising, which has also resulted in some inflationary pressures within the country. But at the same time, I think people they do realize that fuel prices are also linked to the international gas prices. So obviously, when the international gas prices will come down, the benefit will of course be passed on to the people, and that is something that is going to be helped. I don't think there is any government that can do anything with regard to fuel prices, which gas prices.
The countries within the GCC have signaled basically their support in continuing to help your economy. The UAE, Saudi Arabia, tell us more about that.
Well, whether it is Saudi Arabia or the other GCC countries, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, etc., they have been of tremendous, they are great partners of Pakistan. We have very close cooperation with all the GCC countries. And there are several layers of this cooperation, economic cooperation, the people-to-people contacts, we have defense cooperation, we have very strong political cooperation between members of the GCC countries. We have recently announced a new initiative, and that is known as Special Investment, it's a Special Financing Investment Council, SIFC. And the main purpose of the SIFC is to attract investments from all over the world into Pakistan. It's like facilitating the investors, and this is a kind of a new initiative that has been taken by the government. And the GCC countries that you have just mentioned, they have shown a lot of interest in investments in Pakistan under the SIFC initiative that Pakistan has taken. Basically, we are talking about 5 major areas of investment that are being offered to. Of course, agriculture is one of the areas in which there is a lot of interest amongst the GCC countries to invest in Pakistan. Then IT is another sector in which we are expecting a lot of GCC investments in Pakistan. Mines and minerals is another area which is, as a matter of fact, we have already received expressions of interest from GCC countries about investment in energy and mines and minerals. Energy is another sector. We are sitting on the 7th largest reservoir of shale gas in Pakistan, which is again something which is... So I think the future look very bright as far as investment climate is concerned. We are expecting the representatives of the GCC countries to visit Pakistan within this month. From Saudi Arabia, from UAE, from other countries, and a number of MOUs and agreements are likely to be signed with the GCC countries. So from that point of view, I think the situation looks extremely good. It's certainly going to be a great partnership between Pakistan and the GCC countries.
If I was a hedge fund manager and I was looking for foreign investment, what would be your message to the fund managers as far as investing in Pakistan?
Well, I would say that the kind of environment that we are trying to create in Pakistan, when there is a lot of focus on good governance to end smuggling, to end corruption within the country, and there are some very strong measures which are being taken. So I think the situation looks very good as far as the fund managers are concerned, because a lot of these investors who are looking at Pakistan and looking at SIFC, Special Investment Facilitation Council, I think probably there'll be a very conducive atmosphere for all those stakeholders.
What is on the horizon in terms of China-Pakistan relations and investment?
Well, China certainly is a great partner of Pakistan. We have very strong relationship. We have strategic cooperation with China. We have economic cooperation with China. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which was signed in 2013, that's a flagship economic initiative of the Chinese and Pakistani governments. We recently celebrated 10 years of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and I think there is a lot to celebrate as far as the achievements under China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is concerned. We look at China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in the context of overcoming our infrastructure, energy shortages, infrastructure development of ports and airports. And I think we have achieved significant progress in all these areas that we are talking about. And the next phase is going to be on agriculture and the upgradation of railways. So that's the kind of an initiative which are on the cards as far as China-Pakistan's economic corridor's next phase is concerned.
In terms of security, there are still some challenges in the region with the TTP, Daesh. Tell us if these terrorist cells are making a comeback, or do you believe that you are able to have a handle on that in them growing in the region? Because you also have to deal with what's happening over in Afghanistan and the Taliban takeover there.
Well, you see, that's something which remains a major dilemma, because we would like Afghanistan to become a stable country, prosperous country, but then the presence of a large number of these terrorist groups that you have just identified, whether it's TTP, whether it's ISIK, ETIM, and many other organizations which are based in Afghanistan, they are a major concern not only for Pakistan but the other regional countries as well. We have a dialogue with the Afghan interim government. Basically, what we are telling them is that they have to fulfill their commitments that they have made to Pakistan as well as the international community, whereby they are committed to not allow the Afghan soil to be used against other countries. Unfortunately, attacks which are taking place in Pakistan emanating from Afghanistan by TTP, that remains a major concern for us, and we would like the Afghan interim administration to take some solid practical steps against these organizations, particularly the TTP, which is creating a lot of, I would say, bad blood between the two countries. So that's something that is of paramount importance.
I'd be remiss if I really didn't ask you about the visitation of President Zelensky here to the United Nations, which will be a historic moment. And being a senior statesman and a gentleman that's been in the diplomatic arena for so many years, you must have some personal thoughts about what you're seeing.
Well, you see, in terms of the crisis, our position is very clear. We feel that war is not an option for anything. The issues need to be settled through peaceful negotiations, and that's something that we have always advocated. With regard to this particular conflict, which is which is now going on for almost 2 years, this is something that has created a lot of nervousness in almost every country in the world in terms of economic crisis that many of the countries are faced with, the fuel shortages, the food shortages, etc. So, this is something which is, and we would like this issue to be resolved through peaceful negotiations between the parties.
Do you see that there's a need for Security Council reform? And I say this particularly because of the way they've been paralyzed in dealing with India's violation of the UN Charter with regards to the Kashmir situation.
Well, this UN reforms, this has been on the agenda of the UN Security Council, UN General Assembly for a very long time. Our position remains constant, consistent. We say that there should be a criteria-based approach according to which this membership should be enlarged, and it should be through a democratic process. And we can't afford to have the emergence of another elite member of this Security Council. You're absolutely right that India has violated most of the UN Security Council resolutions, including the UN Security Council resolution on Jammu and Kashmir, which is the long-standing issue on the UN Security Council agenda. We would like the implementation of those UN Security Council resolutions, calling for holding of a free and fair plebiscite to determine the wishes of the Kashmiri people. So that is something which has not taken place. And Kashmir, as you are aware, for the last several years has been turned into a prison. So that is something, and massive human rights violations are taking place. So this is something that we would expect the international community to take notice of.
Foreign Minister Jalil Abbas Jilani, thank you for joining us here on TRT World.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Enjoy talking to you.